Hi folks, HR Funk here with a confession to make right off the bat. I was never a pilot, okay? Someone gave me this flight suit years ago and I've never had an opportunity to wear it. And I thought today, since I'm again talking about the AR7 rifle, which as I mentioned in a previous video, was originally intended for downed pilots to use as a survival tool, that maybe the old flight suit was appropriate for the occasion. So, in any regard, what I really want to talk about today is not specifically the rifle, but this new Slim River single point sling. Now, if you saw my previous videos on the AR7, you already know that I'm a pretty big fan of this little rifle. But one of the things that I've noticed in the weeks since I've owned it is when I'm carrying it, as portable as it is when everything is packed up and stowed inside the buttstock, when you have the rifle assembled and you're carrying it, there's no means to connect a sling in order to have the convenience of being able to sling the rifle. Now, I realize, particularly as a survival tool, you could make a field expedient sling with almost anything, a piece of twine, even an old dog collar for that matter. But one of the problems we have with that is if we tie something onto the stock and tie it somewhere onto the rifle in order to use it as a sling, then when we decide to stow everything back inside the buttstock, we have to untie whatever we tied on there and then put it back in. And then the next time we put it together, we have to tie it back on. So that's one of the things I don't like about the field expedient sling. The other thing that I don't like is the idea that if I tie something on here through the course of walking or moving or whatever, the knot could come loose or somehow it could release and drop the rifle somewhere that I don't want it to be dropped. So I started looking for a little bit more purpose-built option for the AR7. And here's where I have to give props to Such. I was watching one of his videos where he was talking about an AR7, and he had obtained a rifle sling, or a AR7 sling, from a company called Slim River. And he mentioned that he got the sling through eBay. So, quick as I could, I went to eBay, and in the search window I typed in Slim River AR7 sling, and several options came up. It appears that Slim River has expanded its line somewhat since Such bought his sling. Now, the one that he had actually attached back here, and it was just a loop that came up from the buttstock, and it would hang the rifle from your shoulder almost like carrying a shoulder bag or a purse. You could probably also loop it around this way, but it's still going to hang just about like that. One of the things I didn't particularly care for with that option is when you have it all strapped on back here, you can't open up the butt cap. So in order to do that, you have to untie everything, then open it up, put everything in, take it out or whatever, then tie it all back on. I didn't like that particular option, and I also didn't particularly like the way it carried. But now, Slim River is also offering this new single point sling, and when I saw that, I thought that might be just the ticket, and it turns out it really is. One of the things I really like about the Slim River single point sling is the fact that it takes no modification to the rifle whatsoever in order to install it. This is really nothing more than a loop that goes around your stock. We have a loop right there that wraps around right at the pistol grip and then comes back underneath, just like this. I'm trying to make it so you can see. Comes right through there, pulls up, and it holds the rifle nice and secure. Now, as you can see, there's also a clip right here. So if you want to detach the rifle from the sling for some reason, and then later you want to attach it, you just snap it right back on there. And the rifle again is nice and secure. As a single point sling, it's also easy to use while the sling is on. If you need to come up and take a shot, there's no reason to take the sling off. It just stays right there, and if you decide you're done shooting and you want to have your hands free, it's just that quick, and now you have full use of your hands and the rifle is slung. Now, I would not describe the Slim River single point sling as a heavy duty sling. I would say this is probably medium duty, maybe even light duty. It's not real heavy nylon mesh, but at the same time, it only has to support the weight of a 3.5 pound AR7. So I'm not carrying an M60 or something like that that needs a bigger, heavier strap. I think for its intended purpose, it's actually just about perfect. One issue with the single point sling, and the Slim River is no different from any other single point sling that I ever used, is if you release the rifle to have use of your hands, sometimes, and you see where it's swinging, I'm going to take a step back here, it has a tendency to whack you someplace you don't want to be whacked. So that is something you need to be mindful of. Also, when moving or when walking, it is kind of awkward if you have the rifle hanging like this. If you put it to your side, then it's really no problem. And the rifle is just as quick if you need to access it. So if you're using a single point sling and you're walking any amount of distance, this is really the way you want to carry it. Similarly, if you put the rifle back behind you, it's nice because it's out of your way, and if you're working here and you don't have to move, that's fine. But if you start to walk, that rifle is banging into the back of your legs. Again, not exactly the way you want to move with your rifle. So once more, down here at your side, that's where you want it, and it's just as quick as it can be if you need to come up and shoot for some reason. The Slim River single point sling sells for a little over $15, and it's $4 shipping and handling. So the price of the entire unit is only $20, which I thought was very reasonable. Now, one thing to be mindful of is these slings are manufactured in Malaysia, and shipping time takes a little bit. I waited about a week and a half to get this particular sling. So it's not extraordinarily long, but it's a little bit longer than you're going to wait if you ordered something from Midway USA or Cabela's or something like that. So that's my quick review on the Slim River AR7 sling. If you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. And until next time, good shooting. Oh, by the way, I'm going to go listen to my Top Gun soundtrack. Take care.